She walked away from everything. The hallway smelled like sweat and broken promises. Cold, sterile. The kind of cold that settles in your bones and doesn't leave. Angel Reese stood there, phone in one hand, unsigned contract in the other, and made a decision that would fracture the WNBA into pieces nobody knew how to put back together. I'm not signing this. 4 words, delivered in a whisper, but in the suffocating silence of that moment, they sounded like thunder. What the Chicago Sky thought was a routine contract extension, a guaranteed payday, a franchise cornerstone locked in, became a nuclear detonation that exposed how the WNBA treats its stars, who really holds the power, and what happens when someone refuses to play by rules designed to keep them quiet and grateful. This isn't just about money, it's about respect. And Angel Reese just taught the entire league a lesson they'll never forget. 6 months ago, Angel Reese was on top of the basketball world. National champion, Final Four most outstanding player, the Bayou Barbie who turned LSU into a cultural phenomenon and herself into a household name. Her draft stock, nuclear hot. When Chicago selected her with the 7th pick, it felt like destiny. Rookie season expectations were sky high. Double-double machine, rebounding savant. The kind of player who fills stat sheets and arenas. Chicago needed her. The Sky had been mediocre for 2 years, attendance dropping, relevance fading. Angel was supposed to be the answer, and she delivered. Not at Caitlin Clark's level, nobody was, but solid, consistent, the foundation of a franchise rebuild. Then came contract negotiation time. Standard rookie scale deals don't offer much flexibility, but the Sky wanted to lock Angel into a long-term extension before she could test free agency. Security for her, control for them. Win-win. According to 3 people present during initial discussions, the Sky offered Angel a 4-year, $3.2 million extension. Not terrible by WNBA standards. Decent money, guaranteed security. Most rookies would sign without hesitation. Angel Reese asked one question. How much did Caitlin Clark make from endorsements this year? The answer, according to leaked financial reports published last month, Caitlin Clark earned approximately $11 million in her rookie season from Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, and a dozen other sponsors. $11 million. While her WNBA salary was $76,535. Angel's endorsement total? Roughly $1.8 million. Still impressive, still life-changing for a 21-year-old. But the gap was massive, undeniable, and according to sources close to Angel, deeply personal. She didn't want to be Caitlin, one teammate said, speaking on condition of anonymity. She wanted to be respected the same way, paid the same way, treated like she mattered the same way. The comparisons had been relentless all season. Every Angel Reese highlight came with a caveat. Every achievement measured against Caitlin Clark's. The narrative wasn't subtle. Caitlin was the hero, the savior, the future. Angel was the other one. And now Chicago wanted her to sign a 4-year deal that would keep her locked in at below market value, while the league exploded in popularity. Popularity she helped create. They're betting on me being grateful, Angel told her agent during a phone call that lasted 73 minutes and ended with a decision that would shake the foundation of women's basketball. I'm done being grateful for crumbs. But nobody knew yet. Not Chicago, not the league, not the media machine already writing headlines about Angel's loyalty to the franchise that drafted her. They were about to find out. Angel walks in carrying nothing but her phone and the unsigned contract. No agent, no lawyer, just her. The Sky's general manager, head coach, and 2 ownership representatives sit on one side of the table. Power suits, confident smiles. This is supposed to be a formality. Angel, we're excited to finalize this and build the future together. She sits down, slides the contract back across the table, unsigned. I'm not signing. The GM's smile freezes, melts, disappears. I'm sorry? I'm not signing this contract, Angel repeats, voice steady as steel. And I'm not playing for Chicago next season unless the offer changes. The room erupts. GM, Angel, this is a very generous offer by WNBA standards. By WNBA standards that were designed to keep us poor. Angel cuts in, leaning forward now, every ounce of LSU champion confidence flooding back. You're offering me $800,000 a year while Caitlin Clark makes more in one Nike commercial than I'll see in 4 years of breaking my body for this team. That's not our fault. It's not about fault, Angel says, voice rising now, controlled fury replacing cool politeness. It's about value. You know what I'm worth. You know what I bring to this franchise. You've seen the jersey sales. You've seen the attendance numbers when I'm on the court. You've calculated every dollar I generate. And you're offering me this. The head coach tries diplomacy. Angel, we understand you're frustrated, but walking away from guaranteed money. I'm not walking away from money, Angel interrupts, and now her voice drops to something colder, sharper, more dangerous. I'm walking away from disrespect disguised as generosity. She pulls out her phone, opens Twitter, turns the screen toward them. Here's what happens if I walk out of this room without a better offer. I post this. It goes to my 2.3 million followers. Every media outlet picks it up within 10 minutes. And tomorrow's headlines aren't about your exciting rebuild. They're about how Chicago tried to lowball their franchise player while the league's poster child makes bank. The Chicago Sky just offered me $3.2 million to give them 4 years of my prime. Caitlin Clark makes that in 3 months from sponsors. Tell me again how the WNBA values all its stars equally. I'll wait. You wouldn't. Try me. The calculation happens in real time. Management knows the math. If Angel walks, Chicago loses its most marketable player. If she posts that tweet, the backlash won't just hit Chicago. It'll expose the WNBA's entire pay structure, the gap between star salaries and star endorsements, the uncomfortable truth that the league makes millions off these women while paying them pennies. What do you want? Angel leans back, crosses her arms, lets the question hang. I want what I'm worth, a contract that reflects my value to this franchise, not what the WNBA's outdated pay scale says I should accept. I want incentives tied to performance, attendance, and merchandise sales. I want the flexibility to renegotiate if the league's next TV deal explodes like everyone knows it will. And I want a guarantee that if you trade me, I have full no-trade clause protection. That's not how WNBA contracts work. Then change how they work, because if you don't, I will. She doesn't slam it, doesn't need to. The door closes with a whisper that somehow sounds louder than any shout. The tweet never posts, but the story leaks anyway. Angel Reese rejects Chicago Sky extension. WNBA star demands equal pay structure. Reese versus Sky. Contract standoff exposes league's pay gap. Is Angel Reese about to break the WNBA? The Players Association releases a statement within 2 hours. We support Angel Reese's right to negotiate fair compensation and recognize the systemic issues she's highlighting. Chicago's response? Radio silence for 14 hours. Then a carefully worded press release. Contract negotiations are ongoing. We remain committed to building a championship team around Angel Reese. But the damage is done. The conversation has shifted, and suddenly every WNBA player's contract negotiation becomes a referendum on Angel's stand. The basketball universe fractures. Players current and retired flood social media with support. Diana Taurasi tweets, "Somebody had to say it. Respect." Brianna Stewart posts a single emoji, a crown. Candace Parker writes a 1,200-word essay about how WNBA salaries haven't kept pace with the league's growth and how Angel's stand matters. She's fighting for all of us. This isn't about greed, it's about worth. The league needs to listen. But not everyone's cheering. Critics call Angel entitled, selfish, ungrateful. She's a rookie, one former GM says on ESPN. You don't get to make demands, you earn your way. Others suggest she's jealous of Caitlin Clark, that this is really about ego, not economics. The discourse becomes tribal. Team Angel versus Team Chicago. Players versus management. Old guard versus new generation demanding more. But the numbers don't lie. According to independent financial analysis published by The Athletic, Angel's assessment is correct. Chicago's offer significantly undervalued her market impact. In her rookie season, the Sky saw a 43% increase in average attendance, a 38% bump in merchandise sales, and secured $2.1 million in new local sponsorships directly tied to Angel's marketability. The team generated approximately $4.7 million in additional revenue because of Angel Reese, and they offered her $800,000 annually. The math is brutal, undeniable, damning. 3 other franchises with stars approaching contract years suddenly face a nightmare scenario. If Angel gets her demands met, every negotiation changes. Players will want performance incentives, no trade clauses, renegotiation rights. The structure that gave teams all the leverage, take our offer or make overseas money, starts to crumble. Sponsors start watching closely. Nike, Jordan Brand, Adidas, they're all calculating. If the WNBA can't keep its stars happy, if players start sitting out, if the league's growth story becomes a labor dispute story, investment dollars get nervous. Insiders suggest Commissioner Kathy Engelbert held emergency calls with team owners. The message: this cannot become a prolonged standoff. The league's momentum is too fragile. One star sitting out, one messy public battle, could undo years of progress. But solving it isn't simple. If Chicago caves, every team faces similar demands. If Chicago holds firm and Angel sits out or forces a trade, the optics are devastating. Black female athlete driven out for demanding fair pay. There's no good option, only degrees of damage control. Angel posts a photo of herself in workout gear with a caption, "Building in silence, they'll hear me soon enough." No explanation, no update, just 2.8 million likes and counting. As of today, the contract remains unsigned. Chicago has reportedly increased their offer to $4.1 million over 4 years with performance incentives. Angel's camp hasn't responded publicly. Sources close to negotiations describe the atmosphere as tense but ongoing. 3 other WNBA teams have quietly reached out to Angel's agent. If Chicago won't pay her, someone else will. And that possibility, that Angel could leave, that loyalty means nothing when respect is absent, terrifies the Sky's front office. The league's contract deadline is February 1st, 3 months away. Either Chicago signs Angel on her terms, trades her, or watches her walk when she becomes a restricted free agent next summer. Nobody knows which way this ends. Remember that cold hallway? The one where Angel Reese stood with an unsigned contract and said 4 words that changed everything? "I'm not signing this." That wasn't desperation. It wasn't ego. It was someone who calculated her worth, understood her leverage, and refused to accept less than she deserved. 3 futures hang in the balance now. Future 1, Chicago meets Angel's demands. She signs, the team builds around her, and every future WNBA contract negotiation starts from a new baseline. Players gain power, the league evolves. Women's basketball takes another step toward true equity. Future 2, Angel and Chicago reach a compromise. Nobody gets everything they wanted, but both sides claim victory. The system bends slightly but doesn't break. Progress happens, slowly, painfully, imperfectly. Future 3, the standoff becomes a war. Angel refuses to budge. Chicago refuses to pay. She gets traded or sits out. Her career stalls. The league learns that demanding respect costs too much. Which future we get? That depends on whether the WNBA values its stars as much as it values the system that controls them. What Angel Reese proved in that conference room is this: gratitude isn't a negotiating strategy. Loyalty doesn't pay bills. And silence protects no one but the people profiting from your talent. She walked away from guaranteed money because she knew her worth. And now the entire league has to decide if they do too. The Chicago Sky thought they were signing a franchise player. Instead, they got a revolution. Will Angel sign? Will Chicago pay? Will the WNBA's entire economic structure crack under the pressure of one woman refusing to settle? Even Angel doesn't know yet. But one thing's certain, she's not backing down. So here's your choice. Do you stand with the player demanding fair value, or with the league protecting its bottom line at her expense? Which side are you on? Drop it below. We're reading every single comment. Because this isn't just about Angel Reese. It's about every player who's ever been told to be grateful for less than their worth.